And record. Here we go. Welcome, everybody. So glad you're here. We are here on Monday night. I have a special guest, as you can see, the beautiful Julie Lenseedel, and she's going to be joining us tonight for our Shrink a Size educational Zoom. I'm so proud of you guys. You guys are so excited about your new healthy lifestyle, your new healthy habits. I mean, Julie's on the page with us on Facebook, and isn't it just fun seeing all of them post their meals and their workouts? And
so exciting.
It is.
I love it.
Me too. So with Shrink Aside, we're on a pretty strict 5 weeks here to get into a pair of pants and in 5 short weeks, which is pretty exciting. We've been covering on Monday night, really going through the foundation of TLS. And for those of you who don't know me, maybe you're a guest logging on here tonight, Melanie Nelson, director of TLS. I've been in the health industry for since 2000. So coming up on 22, 23 years now, which is pretty crazy to say. And before we get into all the nitty gritty of tonight, just our disclaimers here that the statements we're going to be saying have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. Our products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Please consult your healthcare provider before starting any weight management product or exercise program. And you can expect to lose about 1 to 2 pounds a week following the TLS Weight Loss Solution. And our stories here maybe from independent unfranchised owners. And so without further ado, let's bring on Julie here. She's a family nurse practitioner. She's a mom. She's a wife. She's a nutrimetrics health professional, which means that she is utilizing many of our product lines, including TLS, within her practice as a nurse practitioner. And she is a TLS certified coach and a TLS certified trainer. So it's pretty exciting to have her on board here. And if you just take a look at these pictures, look at the one at the top. That was, that I believe that, Julie, that was when you were 40. And then the one below is when you were 50.
Yes.
Isn't that amazing, you guys? I mean, I always say too, I look better and younger than I did 20 years ago when I, first was introduced to healthy lifestyle. And we're just getting better and improving with age with a healthy lifestyle. I love it. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your personal
it's crazy what can happen when someone teaches how to eat healthy a little bit and you learn how to read a label, because no one teaches that in grad school. And wow, the power of food and just understanding what's going in is amazing. So I am Julie Lenseedel. I am in Bismarck, North Dakota. So up in the north here, it's 90 some degrees outside. And so I was introduced, I am a nurse practitioner, was a nurse practitioner when I was introduced to TLS. This was in 2010. It was in the end of 2010. And I will tell you, I had never heard of TLS. I'd never heard of any isotonic supplements. I was very good at prescription writing, very good. I worked in the emergency room as a nurse practitioner, and that's what I knew. I knew medicine and I knew prescriptions. That's what I did. And as many people do, I was on a health journey as well, but it wasn't a wellness journey. It was more of a medical journey, with just things that that a lot of people deal with in their health. And I knew nothing about that changing how I ate would make any difference. That wasn't even on the scope of anything. But in 2010, the end of the year, I was introduced to OPC. So in our isotonics, the OPC, and again, I'd never heard of that. And it did make a difference. It was more in the difference of the formulation of the supplementation, not a pill. And so it was better for my digestive system. So in January of 2011, I took my first class, sitting in a class. And I was introduced by Lisa Hoynes to this. And I will tell you, I was the crabby person in the class. If you are a coach and you've ever had that person in the front row crossing their arms and like, I'm not going to follow what they say and I'm going to drink coffee and all these little things. Yep, that was me, the snarky person in the front row. But I was committed. And by week 2, let me tell you, 3 inches off my waist. I didn't even know that you could live without bread because I thought that's where you got fiber from. Little did I know. And that was literally the beginning of a whirlwind of my life. I think that initial class, I lost 20 some pounds, but that wasn't the dynamic thing. It was just my physique changed, just everything. I always kind of say I depuffed a little bit. Internally was a good way to say, but my health improved drastically, so much that it made me become much more aware of the power of food. And it took me on a new path of my medical profession, that I ended up leaving the emergency room and went into private practice, where I educate people to empower their health with low glycemic eating and TLS eating. And so it's been a fabulous journey. And now I incorporate it all into my medical practice as well, but I use the exact same tools that we have for TLS, the same education, the same menu plans, everything. And, you know, we're into year 12 now of the lifestyle, and it's amazing. I mean, it's been 12 years. It's crazy. And how good I feel. Like, I feel better now than I did in my 30s. And I love the fact that over the last 2.5 years, I had a solid platform of where to muddle my way through in life when we all might have been drowning a tad bit. I just kept, looking at protein and fiber at every meal, and, collaborating with a group of coaches to keep us all going. And it's been an amazing thing. So super thankful. And my whole family, I mean, it's changed my whole family. There's a kind of a before we were introduced to TLS in my household, and there's after. And we actually look at pictures, and it's kind of like, oh, that was before TLS. That's how our household is. So
that's so
before
fun.
and after of TLS.
Yeah. Julie has a very fun family too. You guys got great, just a lot of fun energy in your entire family, which is really, really cool. Yeah, just an incredible journey of just really improving your health, improving your energy, improving, like you said, everything about, how you're feeling, and even like you said, that depuffing. Yes. I feel the same way. I've had that same thing. So we've talked about exercise. We've talked about low glycemic index eating. We've talked about really many of the pillars here in TLS through these Mondays. So today we're going to really focus in on the supplements, why we can help accelerate our results while we're adopting this new healthy lifestyle, because our products really assist when we have poor dietary habits, or we need hormonal support, or we have chronic stress in our life, or we're feeling like a little low energy or fatigue, or we need metabolic support, or we have cravings and excessive hunger, or we just want to achieve or possibly maintain our healthy weight. And for me, the products really help me maintain this healthy lifestyle. I know that I tried for years to lose weight without supplements. I didn't know anything about supplements. I was in the health industry and I knew nothing about them. And I was getting up, 7 days a week, super early, working out hard, eating right all through the day. And I was doing all the things. I tried lots of different fad diets and things like that. It wasn't until I introduced supplements that I started actually seeing the results I was working for. Why? Because our supplements are there to address the certain struggles that we may be having individually, right? That's why, we're really all about personalizing your own journey with our different supplements so that you get the best results, because there's something going on that's preventing you from getting those results. So it's really just about honing in on what does the body need. And that's what I love about our supplements, right, Julie, is they're health products. They're helping our body do what it's supposed to do. And that's amazing. So Julie's going to cover a lot of different information here tonight. She's going to start with clinical ingredients. Okay.
Yeah. And I will admit too, that I knew nothing about supplementation prior to 2010, 2011, absolutely nothing. Because I'd never used any of them. So, and I was one who exercised a lot. Like, I was the freakish exerciser 7 days a week, but nothing ever changed in my body until I changed the food I was intaking and use things that were what my body needed, because we all have our specific needs that our body has. And when I introduced, changing the food intake and supplementation, wow, what a difference. It was crazy. And so one of the things that I really appreciate about the TLS supplements is the clinically studied ingredients they have. I mean, I am a mom, I am a wife. So what happens in my household is very important, but I'm also a family nurse practitioner. And so when people come to me looking for, the start of their wellness journey or whatever they're the goals that they're having, I do want to have the best supplementation that has the best clinically studied ingredients for my patients, as well as for my personal use in my household. So things such as Leptocore, such as Well Trim, all these are the ones that are clinically studied, meaning that they have the studies of the specific ingredient, and we will go off of those studies. And so that some of our products have the clinically ones that are in there as well. So when you see the little trademark on an ingredient, such as Asteril or what's another one? I'll get to them here. So then it's got the little thing that means that's the patented, trademarked, registered ingredient. So that is the studied one that we're looking for. So we have specific products that we have those in, and actually they're in all of our products with TLS. And so we look for crossover studies or double blind studies, and we choose those ingredients to be used. And then we will use the exact same ingredients that were in that study. So the studies and the rigor that goes into pharmaceuticals is also applied to the same ingredients. So when they say that like supplements are not studied, the supplements themselves, they're followed by a different regulation, but the clinical ingredients are studied and go through the same rigorous studying as the pharmaceutical drugs. So just knowing that, our products are very effective, and they are health products, but they're not diet pills. And that's one thing about people say, is this a diet pill? No, because diets don't work. No, it's a lifestyle, and they're health products that are meant to help you meet your goals specific to you. So you do want to take them and commit to at least 3 months. No different than anything else that you would take prescription wise. Nothing changes in a day. There does have to be an adjustment that happens, clinically within your body. So committing to at least 3 months of them.
So, what I want to cover in this webinar tonight is a little bit of the commonly asked questions, which is like, am I going to need to use these TLS supplements forever, Julie? Right? And here's the truth.
Let's got that today.
It's a personal choice, and it really depends on your goals and challenges.
Yeah, it does. And because I too, initially was like, because when we start, we're taking Core generally from the Jumpstart kit, we're in the daily essentials, the packets, etc. But it really does depend. So if you're someone, who craves a lot of carbs, if you're kind of like, I've never met a carb I don't like, Core or Trim tea may be very beneficial to help support you. Or for me, I don't have that big carb addiction anymore. I did, but that has shifted. However, when I'm going out to a restaurant or into a place where I may be, going to make some choices that I probably wouldn't at home, these are great products to have. But if, you don't have that issue, or if you do have that issue, you may or may not need to use that supplement. I'm going to jump into the axe. Well, maybe you can talk. I get up with the axe a little bit. If you deal with stressors all the time, I'll talk a little bit more about axe lately. But I was recently introduced to axe by Melanie, and it's been a product I've had for 12 years. But sometimes, do you ever have that thought where you're like, I already take enough supplements. Like, I need another supplement. Well, maybe sometimes you do. Let's just put it that way. So if you have been dealing with any kind of stress at all, our TLS Axe may be very, very, very helpful in managing this.
Yeah. Well, and life can be unpredictable. The habit of proper supplementation can prevent falling off track or just help you maintain your weight after you've reached your goals. I've also found that, for me as well, we're looking at like 15, 16 years of utilizing our product lines. And I've had very different seasons of life. There were times where I could not be without Core because it was such a quick, slippery slope back to those insane carb cravings that I'm like, I just need to be on this. And I think I need to be on it for life. And then there was times where I could go off of it. I was more, good with green coffee and GC, what we like to call GC. But then, I became the director of TLS for all the international markets, and I really needed TLS Axe in my life. So it was like, it just understand that it's different seasons in your life. And so, yeah, I've been on these products straight for 17 years, but they've shifted, they've changed. That's part of why we always suggest people retake the TLS weight loss profile about every 3 to 6 months, because you never know which one you might just happen to need or swap out or that kind of thing. But we do feel like they're pretty important, being the healthy life or healthy products they are.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I think sometimes the initial step of weight loss is easy. And I don't mean easy, but that initial journey, there might be, you have a specific goal, you're excited, it's the long term sometimes, and I think you use the word slippery slope very well, because it is. And so what you need to do sometimes is to utilize supplementation through those different phases of life as we go like that for the long term, where I can say I'm 12 years down, you're 17 years, and I too have used our TLS supplements through the whole thing at different phases, different ones. And so the same kind of thing. So one thing that to me is very big in as a nurse practitioner and as a certified TLS coach, and this is what I offer in my office, is people do not eat enough. Most people are not eating horrible. I'm not saying no one ever makes bad choices, but I definitely think that the lack of enough food in a day is way more of a problem with weight than it actually is overindulgence. And what I see, and it's because people are skipping meals because we live a very busy lifestyle, running from place to place. So that's what I have always loved about the TLS nutrition shakes. Love them because they are great, because they have the protein and fiber in that we need. They are good for a meal replacement. They have the nutrition in there. I personally think that we should always be eating meals. I'm not, because TLS is not a meal replacement lifestyle.
No.
But to know that, if you are busy in the middle of the day in a meeting, you can easily mix up a shake and have that, and you are getting your nutrients in. They taste fabulous. I've tasted lots of shakes. Let me tell you, I am the queen of, just like you, Melanie, I have tried tons of shakes. And boy, I tell you, there is definitely still a difference in our TLS nutrition shakes. They're wonderful. And they're great for like a meal replacement or post-workout. Very easy to put the powder in a water bottle. And then when you're done working out, add some water and shake it up, some ice and water. So it does have the 10 grams of fiber, because we do not get enough fiber in our diets. If you remember the net carb formula, when they went through a couple of weeks ago, I just went through labels in my office today, it's the net carb is a total carb minus the dietary fiber, minus the sugar alcohol. So the higher the fiber you can get in a day, the better it is going to be for the glycemic impact on your body. We need at least 35 grams a day. And I just know people don't get that. So we're getting the 10 grams of fiber, also the 19 grams of protein, because protein and fiber at every meal makes losing fat no big deal. And so we have the whey protein, which is superior for muscle growth, which we want to feed the muscles. That's I always say, feed your muscles, feed the machine, because we are working hard every day. And so it's also got 24 additional vitamins and minerals. So it is a wonderful shake to be using.
For sure. I know we do have some Canadians and some friends from the UK and Australia participating in our Shrink a Size. And I just want to let you guys know that we just talked about the US formulation. Now in these countries, they actually have 11 grams of fiber, which is pretty amazing.
Wow.
And 18.4 grams of protein. Theirs does actually contain a soy protein, but they also have their 24 vitamins and minerals. Also still just one of the best shakes on the market in all of those countries. Everybody always talks about how delicious our shakes are. I know I was a holdout. I didn't think they'd be any good. It was literally like years into my TLS lifestyle that I decided to even try them, because I just thought, no, all shakes are gross. So, but they're so amazing. And what's so great is that you can bake with them.
Yes.
I love making muffins. I probably do pancakes with our shakes once or twice a week. It's almost always like a Saturday or Sunday brunch where I'm making our TLS pancakes. And I just love them in water. They're just that good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love the recipes we have. So if you haven't downloaded this yet, make sure you get the Shaking and Baking with TLS, because it talks about how to use the shakes. But I like Melanie, I use them in everything. Like if there's anything, even over the holiday season, that maybe powder sugar is going in or something, I always think, how can I get more protein and fiber into anything? I'm always let's add a scoop of shake, let's get some more in there. So I'm always adding it in there.
So true. Now I love adding a scoop of our shake into my Trim Cafe. Yes. And just making it this like supercharged coffee in the morning. It's so amazing.
Agree. So, oh my goodness, look at the right side. We are a very complex person to say. And so our endocrine system, all this is going on in our system at the same time. Our endocrine system is very, it's the hormone system of our body. And I'm sure, many of us have heard, what's our hormones? It's our hormones, it's affecting our hormones. And it is a real thing. But the thing is, where hormones directly affects our weight. So it is very important to, not that you have to know everything in depth with our hormones, but know that if you lead a healthy lifestyle, it really, really does bring our body back to homeostasis, therefore bringing our hormones into a better realm so that it can benefit our weight. And so, it's such a big thing, because I do get a lot of people come there. There's all these, prescriptions, and nowhere am I against prescriptions. They save lives. That's what I'm saying. But there are ways that we can sometimes, if we just eat different and keep our blood sugar stable with, protein and fiber at every meal, it can affect our whole body. The one that, I would say that has affected me a lot is the adrenal glands. It's it's where we get the fight or flight response. And I actually heard it in a song this week by Pink that the comment was, she doesn't know if she's in fight or flight anymore. And I think that's a big thing that many have experienced, because our adrenals have been affected. So, keeping everything, like I said, just eating enough and keeping things really at homeostasis can make a big difference. So just focusing on foods and supplementation like that can be very, very beneficial in kind of this chaotic world of hormones that we see.
Yeah.
And that we live in.
I know that if you're paying attention to the weight loss industry at all, you're hearing hormonal health a lot, right? And I think what the really important thing to understand about TLS is we've been doing this for a long time. We've already been addressing hormonal health for a really long time before it was the key word, right? On the Facebook ads and the Instagram ads, they go, what hormonal fat are you carrying? Which hormonal body do you have? You're just seeing that. Why? Because the weight loss industry is catching up to something we've known for a very, very long time. And so many of our products actually address hormonal health. And one of them coming up, this specific hormone combination, right, Julie?
Yeah, we have it in our core product. It's the hormones that we're talking about is kind of the hunger and satiety hormones. Well, there's a hormone that tells us that we're full, which is called leptin. And there's a hormone that tells us when we're hungry, and that's ghrelin. And the thing is that, some of those hormones, when we either overindulge for an extended period of time, or if we're starving ourselves for an extended period of time, the hormones kind of stop working. So the leptin, the satiety hormone, again, lets us know when we're full. The ghrelin is the hunger hormone. But if we have excess fat cells, that increases leptin resistance. Then our brain or the hormone does not tell us that we're full. So if you ever, sat down and it's like they'll say they eat and eat and eat, but they never get full. Part of it is sometimes we may not be getting all the nutrients in that we need. So we want more nutritious food, but also it's because we're leptin resistant and our brain no longer tells us that we're full. So we want to go through a process with eating to make sure we're getting enough food in. And there is a supplement that is very, very beneficial for that. And it is the core. And it's kind of the core product of TLS and has been the core product for my 12 years on this journey. And it's called TLS Core Fat and Carb Inhibitor. What it does is it helps with appetite suppression by giving you a feeling of fullness. You can feel it when it kicks in. I feel it in my body. I feel it. It also inhibits carbohydrate absorption in the body, helps with the breakdown of body fat, or which is called lipolysis, helps maintain normal blood sugar levels and promotes normal insulin activity, and can help maintain a healthy cholesterol. You do take 2 tablets per the label says 30 to 45 minutes before your two largest meals, so that it can kick in to give you that appetite suppression. Now, if you forget to take it 30 to 45 minutes before, and you're pretty much common, like a lot of the world, for one, if you can set a timer or your watch is great, but still take it. Take it because of all the additional benefits that it has, and you will feel it kick in. I mean, you can tell it's like, oh, I like that. One thing I do want to say, because as an NP in my world, this is not a fat blocker. It's a common question I get. Maybe nobody else gets it, but I do, because there were such things called Olean several years ago, which was a fat blocker, gave diarrhea. That is not what this is. You're not going to have that. That is not what this is. It's a fat and carb inhibitor. So just knowing there is a difference between that. We do not have a fat blocker.
For sure. Like your brain and your muscles, they need carbohydrates. And the way that it was explained to me is that core, in many TLS trainings, is that core essentially inhibits the excess ones, right? Which is, you know, you're still going to get the ones you need, which is really important. And the reason that those, you know, fat and carb inhibitors on, you know, on the Walgreens shelf, you know, you needed to go to the aisle next door and go get the adult Depends, because all the fat and carbs are going to come out in liquid form, right? And
that is a true story. I saw it.
Story.
Let me tell you.
Yeah. And that's where like the weight loss industry is, it's very, you know, there's a lot of junk science out there. And that's why we're just super proud of our products. That's why we love them. That's why we love sharing them.
Yeah. And so this is just one of the studies from Leptocore, one of the clinical studies that we had talked about. And so this was a 300 milligrams twice a day. On the left side of the screen, you can see it's the cardiovascular benefits that were found in the study. On the right side, I even just like to see that the serotonin, that's kind of a happy hormone, went up 28.6%. I always think you can never have too much of a happy hormone happening. So these are wonderful, you know, results that came from the Leptocore studies. And so if you can see other ways that it would benefit you, not just in a weight loss journey, because I do have people who use Core, not, you know, they're have reached their results, but there's other benefits to it as well. So, and those are listed here.
So also helping with leptin is our Trim Tea and Trim Cafe. That leptin is I'm full, I can push the plate away, which used to be a huge problem of mine. But I love Trim Tea and Trim Cafe because it works on leptin in a different way. You know, one in the gut, one in the brain. So one's hitting more the neurological aspect of leptin and one's hitting more in the gut. And so you got like the Batman and Robin of leptin here. And so for those of you who really do have that pretty intense carb cravings, where they're really insatiable and that you can keep going and keep eating. And that was definitely me when I was overweight and I had no ability to control cravings. My leptin, I was not hearing that at all. Okay. And so I love these two products because they have an incredible trademarked ingredient called Go Trim, which is African mango seed extract, which has been used for centuries in Africa. And we combine this amazing, you know, what I consider a superfood with either black tea extract or your coffee powder extract, your instant coffee. And you get to have, like, if you're drinking coffee or tea anyway, you might as well drink some with this incredible ingredient in it, because again, it also helps with multiple things, not just leptin. Again, you know, helping curb that appetite and feeling of fullness, but it also stimulates, again, lipolysis, that breakdown of fat, helps maintain normal blood sugar levels, helps support metabolic balance and wellness. So you're going to see, you know, some metabolic support over time using this, and also supports cardiovascular health and helps maintain normal levels of cholesterol. Also good for the C-reactive protein. I mean, it's got so many of the same benefits, but it's working on that hormone leptin in a different way than Core. You know, here's Sherry. She loves her Trim Cafe. That, you know, she incorporated TLS eating and the shakes and the Trim Cafe, and lost 20 pounds and 10 inches in 3 months. She just absolutely, like, incredible. And she's actually been maintaining it now. We're coming up on 3 years now of maintaining these results.
Yes.
And that's what I love about this, you guys, is she's still taking her Trim Cafe. She doesn't need to lose any weight. Neither do I, but we're still taking it every day to maintain those incredible health results and whittling the waste. And so a lot of people say, like, can they be taken together? And that is a resounding yes, right? So Core targets leptin sensitivity through the gut. So that physical feeling of satiation, whereas Trim Tea really helps ensure the brain receives the neurological signal that I am full. So I think they're fabulous to take together, especially those of you who are struggling with that specific thing. I take them, and because that was a huge issue for me. And so it doesn't take too much for me to get back to that issue. I really have to, and this is what keeps me on track. I gotta tell you, I love it. I
was going to say, is with the Trim Tea or Trim Tea as well. I'm a sugar addict, where you're more of a carb. I'm like, I've never met a sugar I don't like. I'm just going to tell you, and knowing, and I feel that Trim Tea helps me so immensely when I am craving sweets. And it's very interesting that, that's kind of more on the neurological level versus the gut level.
Right.
And so, because I have noticed that the Core helps with the carb side for me, but if I'm craving sweets and kind of that, I just want to eat sugar like thing, Trim Tea is so beneficial. Like just having a cup of it is so helpful with sugar cravings. And that too is a slippery slope. You have one cookie, you need 17. And so you just got to prevent from getting the one. And I have a cup of Trim Tea for that.
Oh, for sure. For sure. So let's talk a little bit about our stress hormones.
Yeah. Axe. Okay. So adrenal, we have our Axe formula, adrenal, cortisol, thyroid, and stress formula. And so what it helps with is a stress hormone, which is cortisol, helping with healthy levels of cortisol. Also helps with healthy levels of serotonin and dopamine, which are our happy hormones. Like I said, you can never get too much of that. It does help enhance and stabilize our mood and emotional response to stress, and also can help maintain a normal thyroid. So you're going to take 2 capsules a day, and it depends when you take them. Some people will take them morning time. Some people will take them bedtime. I personally take mine at bedtime. And so this is a great one, especially, for me, in like the cortisol levels, because increased stress wreaks havoc on so many areas for us. One is sleep. Another is just weight gain. This is a huge one that can help address, if you have noticed your middle has gotten a little bit wider, storing some body fat, with increased stress the last couple of years, or any stress that you have in your life. It's a real thing. It's a real thing. And it is the cortisol. So Axe is so beneficial in that area. So I started this, it's been about 3 months now. And I was one who never really used it because I really didn't feel the need to. And again, I had said, I think I take enough supplements. Just happened to be on a Zoom call with Melanie one day. And it was before the Zoom started, the chatter in the front. She just says she started taking this because she was having trouble sleeping. That's all she said. And I'm like, well, if it's good for Melanie and I'm having some trouble as well sleeping, I started that. And I am telling you, I wish we would have had that conversation sooner. It has been life-changing for the last 3 months for me. And I have several clients now using it. My daughter started it a month ago and she says it's life. That was her comment last night. Mom, my Axe is life. Yes. So if you're noticing any, effects of stress, this might be a good one to look at.
Yeah. And a lot of people, and I think this is true for a lot of, in some cases, like medical professionals like yourself, where, kind of always on the go, right? And moms and people with maybe corporate jobs where there's lots of deadlines, it seems normal, right? It's like, oh, this is my life though, but it's still producing the stress response in the body, right? Getting the kids off to this and that and the other thing, and then meeting that deadline and fitting in all the patients and like, you name it, right? It's just, we might think that's normal and we're dealing with it, but the body is still producing that stress hormone. And so although we may not be able to get rid of the stressors in our life, what Axe is really designed to do is help our body manage that stress response. Because a lot of times it isn't just like, oh, I have, we're not talking about stress where somebody's, necessarily on a, their way to a breakdown. We're talking about just the daily stress we experience can be enough to cause that unwanted weight gain or make it really difficult to lose it.
Yeah.
And so this, for some of you, might be that thing that just does the trick, right? Which is really, again, one of those things where this is about personalizing your journey through TLS. And so, those are our hormonal support products that we just went through, right? We're talking about Core, Trim Tea, Trim Cafe, and Axe. But now we want to kind of switch gears to our body composition, which is more about getting that healthy muscle to fat ratio. And so you can see on the screen here, I think, for some of you, you've seen this slide before, because I love this slide. I love it, love it, love it, because it's a cross section of a human thigh, actually two different people, but these individuals you're seeing here are actually the same size. So they're wearing the same pair of pants, like same, size 8 or whatever. But they have a very different composition. And so what you see here on the left, or sorry, on the right hand side is someone who's maybe more structured like a prime rib, right? Where they have a lot more of that white fat around the thigh, and you got a lot more marbling. And that white stuff is the adipose fat tissue. And then that dark circle with the white circle in the middle, that's the femur bone, that's the leg bone. And so you're seeing this cross section here as if you were to cut a steak off of a human thigh, and you're seeing a very different composition over on the left-hand side where you've got really dense muscle tissue, right? With only a thin line of fat around. This is more of your filet mignon, right? And so this has a direct effect on our metabolism, on our health. Our composition is more important than the number on the scale. And that is what we're all about in TLS. Because you can be the same size, you could be that same gene size as someone else, but that person on the right is what we call skinny fat, versus the other person on the left who has a healthy body composition. And so that's what we want to help people achieve through the TLS system. Now, losing fat is notoriously difficult, right? I mean, it's like, we always there's a meme out there, Julie, that says, fat has accepted Jesus Christ as its Lord and Savior, and it's, going to live forever, right? It's just it's just hard to get rid of. Once you've gotten it on your body, it's really more difficult. So that's why we have actually 3 different body composition products. And I want to talk about the first one here, which is CLA. Now, this particular product is, one of my favorites. I know, Julie, you take it as well. Yes. And really it became really hot in the market because Hollywood was using it. To really get their actors shredded for movies, right? Like if you think of, I think it was called 300. It was about, those Roman soldiers or the Greek soldiers or whatever. But anyway, this happens to be just an essential fatty acid. It's a conjugated linoleic acid. And it comes from safflower. So it's a very simple product. It's literally safflower. It comes from safflower oil, and there's a little bit of chromium in there, which is, great again for weight. It's been proven to help with weight loss in many different ways, but it's a very simple product, and it does something really simple. It helps your body break down fat, but it takes time, right? Like, again, this is not a magic pill. This isn't a diet pill. This isn't a drug. It's going to take time because it's a natural essential fatty acid. And so you really do need to commit to this, and it works really, really well when you're on the TLS lifestyle, because that means you're incorporating low glycemic eating and you're exercising. And when you add CLA to that combination, you're really going to see,
wow.
It's just really incredible. It really does target that stubborn fat, which is really super fun.
You really can feel, I mean, it's good for belly fat, it'll say it right on it, good for belly fat, but it's also just good for overall lean muscle mass. Because when I always say that exercise, low glycemic eating, and CLA, it's like, oh my God, the three of them together for me is like heaven. Like they work so synergistically fabulous. And you can tell when you use the CLA. So if you're following a low glycemic lifestyle, it even just enhances it even more. And so I absolutely love CLA, and you can tell the difference.
Yeah.
And I see that in the gym a lot too.
It is, that one that I feel like people really need to commit that 3 to 6 months to really see the shredding effect, because it helps you maintain healthy muscle tissue while breaking down that stubborn fat. So it is pretty awesome. Julie, why don't you tell us a little bit about
then there's Thermochrome. Oh my God, my number one product, even though Axe is moving up the list, let's just say, but Thermochrome, oh my God. So if you're looking for any support with energy, focus, attention, or thermogenesis, which is increased, your increased metabolism, increased fat burning, Thermochrome is so good. And this is the new version, the version 6 that came out. This is so good for, like I said, just for overall energy, but it's also good for like focus, or even if it's not a pre-workout. I mean, it's not in that,
it can be though.
Well, though it can be, I guess I don't want to.
I use it for pre-workout.
I guess I do too. I was like trying to be politically correct, but
it's perfect for pre-workout.
I use it as a pre-workout. I taught Body Pump this morning at 9 a.m. and I took it at 8:30. So I take it a half an hour before heading to the gym to teach. And it just gives you that natural, it's not it's not this buzz or heart rate, acceleration. It's just this natural energy. You can start with 1 and you can go to 2 twice a day. You don't want to take it late in the day, because it might keep you awake. It is meant to give you energy and alertness. And so I think it's just a wonderful, and I love that this one comes in our sample packets. So we have trial marketing packets. So if anybody wants to trial them, ask the person who invited you here, or you can order your own, and just trial them and see how you like them. I give them out quite frequently, but I love my Thermochrome. It's always in my purse, always.
Yeah. And I just always like to tell people there is quite a bit of caffeine contributors in this product. It really, is adding to the energy, but I would consider them more natural contributors, right? Where you've got your yerba mate and your guarana and your theobromine, right? This isn't just like straight up, this is your natural sources of caffeine, but still, anybody who's caffeine sensitive, this is not the body composition product for you.
Agreed. Okay. Yes, we have other ones. Yes. And I always say this is the one that does have a stimulant effect. So if you're, and some people are not looking for that, and that is okay. But if you are looking for that, this is a great one.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's why we have CLA and green coffee, because they're our non-caffeinated, non-stimulant version of our body composition, because Thermochrome is the fastest acting when it comes to results, right? I mean, people will see a significant difference in the first 30 days of taking Thermochrome. But the other two, because they don't have that stimulant in there, are going to be slower acting. Okay. So just putting that out there for all of you to have a realistic expectation. But I love green coffee. This is one that I actually really, the list of benefits on this coffee or this product are similar to that of Core and Trim Tea, like a really long list. The happy hormones, the healthy blood sugars, but one of the things that makes it really unique for body composition is 2 things. One, svatol is the clinically studied ingredient, and that helps the body inhibit sugar from turning into fat, which is awesome, especially when you do happen to have that sweet tooth, or I always say when you really like to have those beverages.
I hear you. So I was just going to say, if you don't say it, I'm gonna.
Yeah. And so I always feel like this is a must have during, like, I'd say October, November, December. Everybody should be on green coffee because it's holiday season. It starts with Halloween and it keeps going until the new year. Just like all these holidays where there's all this sugar and there's drinking and there's this, that, and the other thing. And that's why you need green coffee at least those 3 months of the year. But I love it all year round because The other thing that it does is it actually helps your body choose a pathway for energy that instead of grabbing, your carbohydrates or whatever, it's going to help the body choose fat as a source of fuel, which is pretty amazing. So it's a pretty incredible product. We always suggest that people be on, a hormonal support that is right for their specific situation. And then I always say, if you really want to ramp up your results, you would be on one of the body composition as well. So have a hormone support and have a body composition support, and you're going to really see, some pretty amazing things happen in a short period of time, which is why in Shrink a Size, we required people to have product on and be taking it, because, the results are so incredible when you're pairing some of these. And that's the other question we get, right, Julie, is, can I take these together? Can I take all of them? Like, there's always that one person at the party that buys everything, right? When you have a party at your house. So there's always somebody who's asking, well, can I take all of them? And can I take them all together? The truth is yes, they all work synergistically together. There isn't any contraindications. Now, when we say together, we don't mean like you're grabbing everything, putting it in your hand and taking it in your mouth all together. No, you take it as directed. And when we say together, we mean in the same day after day, right? But as directed. And so the only thing that we want to note, right, Julie, is that if you're taking thermochrome and you decide to take Axe, that thermochrome be taken in the morning and early afternoon. And of course, you wouldn't want to go later than that, or it's going to keep you up at night. And then you would do Axe, your TLS Axe, which mine's in the cupboard right now because I still have, I know. And I love our new lavender label on it. It's so pretty. You would take Axe in the late afternoon or, before dinner, after dinner, before bed, but you're just taking
before bedtime. Yeah.
I love it before bedtime as well, because it does help me sleep better as well. But they just need to be taken farther apart, because think about it. Thermochrome is a stimulant. So it's stimulating the body. Axe is bringing you into balance. So in which case it's doing the opposite in many cases. Like if you took thermochrome in the morning, then Axe is going to be like, woo, and so you don't want those two forces fighting against each other, because one, then you're really not getting the benefits of either of them. And, or you're going to feel a little bit like this throughout the day. Might be a little bit of a roller coaster that you did not want to be on. And so that's why we take them far apart, so that we can get the benefits of both products for sure.
Yes. Yes. And I think someone asked if you can take Axe and CLA together. Yes, just as directed per the label, but yes, they can be taken together as well.
Yeah, I love that. Elaine just said CLA worked on my stubborn hip fat, which is awesome. Yeah, it took just over 4 months. So you got to be patient. Thank you for sharing that, Elaine. We love that. Oh my goodness. So fun. So I love seeing these, what we got in the chat. I know Elaine also said that both the coffee and tea are so smooth, no yucky aftertaste. I totally agree. I'm not one, I'm kind of a coffee snob, honestly. And so I was like, I don't know if we're gonna like trim tea. I don't do instant coffee, right? But I love it.
Very good.
It's so good. Well, very fun. All right. Well, I think that was it for. Oh no, we had a couple more slides. Hold on. For those of you who are in our different countries, not in the US, you can actually get many of these products if they're not available in your market. You can actually get them on Shop Global, okay? If you wanted to try any specific one we talked about here tonight. But if you want to learn more about them, I know Jody said, all this information about Axe is making me think it might be a fit for me. Well, here's what I always suggest is, if you go to tlsslim.com, each product has a detail page, and it has all the information, the ingredients, the FAQs, the benefits, like all the information. I always highly recommend that you check that out. And again, shopglobal.com is where, if you're in another country and you just want to try, CLA and it's not available in your market, these are the ways that you can get, those. There's also information on our products in the Health Guide and Journal, the 12-week one that you got digitally for free. And again, I want to just say that as you go through different phases of your weight loss and health journey, it's always good every about 3 to 6 months to retake the TLS weight loss profile and see like, hey, do I need to like switch something up? Talk to your TLS coach, because they can help you, personalize your journey as well. Make sure that.
I was gonna say, I'm a big advocate of the profile. I just have to share that because it's called the TLS Weight Loss and Lifestyle Profile. So don't feel that you can't recommend it or share it with someone who doesn't need to lose weight, because it's also a lifestyle profile. And one of the questions it asks, if you're just trying to, one is losing, one is you're trying to gain, and one is you're trying to remain healthy. So, because I think we don't use the profile enough. So I use it with every single person who walks in my office, no matter what reason they came to me, because their complaint might be sleep. Their complaint might be digestive health, and it will recommend those things through that. So I just recommend everybody take the profile, whether it has nothing, I always say it really has nothing to do with weight loss. It's a lifestyle of health that you're looking for. So, share that profile with people and make sure you take it yourself, because it will really give you a good direction of what is the best thing for you to be doing food-wise and supplement-wise based on your lifestyle goals.
For sure. Awesome. Well, I think we covered a lot of information in a fairly short period of time, just to help everybody understand what products they're currently taking, what products might be a fit for them moving forward, and just give you guys a really solid sense of that pillar within our program of science-based, high quality, clinically studied ingredient type of supplementation that we're just so proud of, that we love, that we take ourselves, and just want to make sure that everybody has an understanding of that. So guys, we have, I believe, one more week of our Shrink as Size program. We're starting week 5 right now.
Yes.
I want to just do a little reminder that the webinar next week is actually on Sunday night, because I will be flying. I'll be in a plane Monday night. I am flying in early. I've been asked to come in early. So I'm going into Greensboro to our company's headquarters. So that's why we were changing it to Sunday night. So I'll see you guys then. For our last and final webinar for Shrink a Size. Can't wait for you guys to take your after pictures. Oh my goodness, right? Get ready. It's 1 week, be really, really committed this week, knowing that on Monday or Tuesday morning, you're going to be doing that picture. You're going to be pulling on those pants. I'm so excited. I know that some of you have been really good about staying off the scale, really good about not measuring, and just, just focusing on, the healthy habits of getting where we want to go. I do know some of you are measuring and you're like, another 2 inches this week, and you're just all super excited. So I'm just super proud of everyone. And I do want to let everyone know that we're going to be doing a 2.0 starting in September. So definitely, I just want to let you guys know that, because you're participating in this one. And, you may want to do a little ramp up again with us in September. So I will see you guys on Sunday. Make it a great week. Thanks so much for joining.
Thanks for inviting me.
Yes.
I'll see you next week as well, or a week and a half. I'm so excited to see everybody.
Julie in the flesh. Actually, many of you guys we're going to see in the flesh. I'm so excited. So can't wait. Thank you guys for attending live. Thanks you for watching the recording. Julie, always appreciate your time and knowledge. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Melanie.
Bye.
Bye.